Alright, this video is about 2 weeks late, but let's get started on what anime I think you should watch this season. Alright, let me break it down for you. I'm going to talk about 5 anime today, some more niche than others that I think are the best watches in this summer season. With that being said, first, I want to mention some notable anime that won't be on the list at all. Either because, I'm not simply caught up, or it's just not really my cup of tea, and those are the new Fairy Tail anime and Nier Automata Part 2. Now, before you get your torches and pitchforks on why I haven't watched either of these yet, to put it simply, I'm not caught up on Fairy Tail at all. I started it like 2 years ago during COVID and just never decided to go back, but I will eventually. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. And as for Nier, I just want to play the games first because they are on my list of games that I actually want to play. And season one, I just guess never caught my eye, but we'll see. But now that's been taken care of, let's get started. First off, I want to talk about any sequels, and funnily enough, there's only one sequel that I'm going to mention here. So, Oshinoko. It blew up last year for its fantastic pilot episode with good reason too, but everyone questioned could it keep up that quality. And while season one was heavily debated, as there are a good chunk of people that think the rest of the anime didn't live up to that first episode, I'm not in that portion of people. Oshinoko season 2 continues to be this gorgeous piece of media that really talks about the parts of the Japanese entertainment industry that nobody sees. And while that may not interest everyone, if you just like your generic shonen fights, I think you should at least give it a shot, as the characters, the settings, and the underlying messages that it tries to portray about the dark sides of the entertainment industry are really captivating. Well, that said, we're gonna move on without mentioning what's happening in the manga right now, as that's an entirely different topic on its own. Next. If you have stepped any part of your body into anime social media right now, you've probably seen a clip or two of this next one. My dear friend Nokotan is literal brain rot. I I don't know how else to explain it. To put it plainly though, it's about this girl, Torako Koshi, and how she lives the perfect life, perfect grades, perfect looks, perfect everything. And this dear girl Nokotan comes in and essentially just throws it all in the trash, as the rest of the episodes play out as a gag humor between the duo and the other side characters in the anime. I'm just gonna be real here. It's gotten pretty popular and it genuinely does have its funny moments of humor, but it's on the bottom half of things I'd really recommend this season to people, because while I feel like it has its moments, not all of the comedic parts and jokes hit, so I find the humor to actually be pretty up and down. But for what it is, it's a show you can really just turn your brain off and just enjoy a laugh or two. As, yes, it's brain rot. Straight up, that's it. Now let's go from one perfect girl to another.
目が笑ってんだよ。
見ましか
なんだって。
バーカって言ったのよ。
Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian is about Alia, who is considered the idol of her school, and she wants to keep it that way, always pushing herself to be the best in everything, and while that is admirable, it is also just as difficult. This is where her classmate Masachika comes into play. He's the complete opposite of her, someone who sleeps through class and overall just goes through his day to just go through his day. He, although, does help Alia with all sorts of things, even if she tends to be too stubborn to ask, but that's just their dynamic. It's just a cute romance anime that, if you're into, you will probably end up enjoying it. As the anime airs, the pair continue to improve each other personally, all while establishing feelings for each other over time. There is one thing, though, that I feel like I should probably mention, and it's the fact that this character, this vile fiend, is absolutely unhinged. But hey, she keeps the plot moving, so I guess we're chilling. 2024 has been an absolute elite year for fantasy anime. We've gotten Mushoku Tensei, Frieren, Konosuba, Dungeon Meshi, and now we have Wistoria, Wand, and Sword. Like, seriously though, this is ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as the anime I've listed before because it's still airing, and the main motivations of the MC are pretty cliche, I won't lie, as he kind of just wants to become as strong as possible so that he can reconvene with the girl that he loves. But don't leave yet, because the anime makes up for it with an absolute masterclass in animation. And its subplot is just as good too, as we see our MC Will Surfer fight against all the odds to make it atop Wizard's Tower without actually being able to cast any magic. Not even all his teachers support him because of his inability to do so. And to be honest, it's kind of like Mashal, except it's less comedic and has a more focused plot. I'm going to keep an eye on this one because if its writing continues to improve, we could possibly be looking at one of the best anime to air this year, in a year that's already absolutely jam-packed with fantasy anime juggernauts. So if your fantasy itch is still wanting to be scratched, I'd really suggest giving this one a watch, as I think it has the opportunity to be very special. It's now time to ask the question, what is my number one anime recommendation this season? And it may actually surprise most of you. Look, I've watched hundreds of anime at this point, and a good chunk of them have been rom-coms, so to say the least, I think I have three main boxes that a rom-com anime should need to check in order to be really good. Those are, it obviously has to be funny. It's like the whole point. It has to have a somewhat realistic approach to character relationships, and the characters themselves have to each bring something to offer to the anime. Makine Too Many Losing Heroines does this, and it provides a whole new refreshing take on the harem rom-com genre itself, as it shows how each of the main cast of girls gets rejected, how they deal with it, and how they recover, all while being accompanied by our MC Kazukuhiko, who is surprisingly a very good read at people. This anime has honestly gotten the most laughs out of me this season, on top of getting me to really care about what happens to all the girls after they are fighting a losing battle for the affection of the guys they each like. I'm honestly really looking forward to how this anime continues to evolve and how our MC juggles trying to keep all their spirits up. And for this, it's my number one recommended show of the season. Alright, for future iterations of this series, I'd like to actually talk about and include more anime to this video, but being completely transparent to you guys, I do think this season overall is lacking in quality compared to the ones we've recently gotten. So if you enjoy watching anime, really try giving the 5 I scraped above a try, because let me tell you, there aren't a lot to be super excited for. And for those wondering about the anime I haven't mentioned, I'll give my quick opinions on some big ones. Like, for example, Tower of God Season 2 kind of just stinks. Like, I actually really enjoy the webtoon of the series, but I don't think that it fixed the main pacing issues that I had with the series from Season 1. As even now, it still tends to feel a bit rushed and boring at times, and they also just ditched the gorgeous art style that Season 1 had that really kept it unique, which makes absolutely zero sense to me. So for that, it's not on this list at all. Regarding Suicide Squad, I'm gonna be real, it just doesn't have a good plot, and it's kind of just okay. Like, yes, it's cool to see famous DC characters in an anime setting like this, but in my opinion, if they want to do an anime adaptation for superhero comics, that's fine. Just don't try to force it like with the Suicide Squad isekai. Just use the plethora of really good stories that's already at your disposal with the hundreds of comics. I digress though, the anime is just mid. But to leave it on a more positive note, The Elusive Samurai looks like it could actually be pretty good. It's a little all over the place, but it's absolutely stunning, and if the writing can improve even a slight bit, it may even make my top 5 at the end of the season, but who knows? With that being said, that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys next time.
おいおい お俺